Welcome to the Rayzor show for January 5th, 2021. There's the graphics. So I'm here tonight and I'm going to do my first of an 11-part series for Star Wars. And I'm going to go through each movie and talk about my love for Star Wars. And why not start with The Phantom Menace? I actually like The Phantom Menace probably more than some fans. I know there was a lot of hate over the years, and I hated hearing about it so much because I liked it. And honestly, the Phantom Menace isn't great. It's not. I know that. I recognize that, and that's fine. I still love it. I got to turn on notifications real fast, and then anybody can comment and talk about how they feel about the Phantom Menace. And I'm going to talk about a few things, not just the movie itself. I'm going to talk about my experience in the theater, waiting in line to get tickets before opening day, and I definitely want to get into collecting all the action figures and my experience with that, which I've told the story a couple times about going to a Walmart in Highland at midnight. But I'll get into that. Highland, Illinois. It's a small type of town. Hey, Alex, I am doing well. I'm a little late. Wanted to go at 7, but I had to eat. I had to eat something. So this just popped in my head. I was like, what am I going to stream today? Um, and I saw a video, and it had something to do with the Phantom Menace, but I can't remember what it was. But it made me think about, I should go through. I talked about doing my true feelings on The Last Jedi. And good evening, James. How are you today? Uh, but why not go through the entire saga, as they say, including Rogue One and Solo. I'll do it in the continuity within the order that they take place. So I'll do Attack of the Clones next, Revenge of the Sith, uh, Solo, Rogue One, A New Hope, Empire. Um, then I guess The Force Awakens. I mean, Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I was 19. Well, I was 18 actually, getting ready to on the verge of turning 19 whenever the Phantom Menace came out. I saw it 6 or 7 times in the theater, maybe more. I don't I don't remember. I saw it a lot though. Definitely saw it a lot. It was when I saw it originally. I was in love with the Phantom Menace. I thought it was great. I didn't care about Jar Jar Binks as many people did or do. Is going to work. Uh, bother me all that much. But I do have an interesting story. I saw it probably. Bam. That's not as cool as I thought it was going to be. But I saw it the day it came out. Now, the week before they released it, I guess I could do the Clone Wars movie. I haven't watched it in years. The animation just doesn't hold up, especially to season 7. But anyway, I did see it in the theater opening night though. So we went and saw The Mummy from 1999 with Brendan Fraser, and it was me and my friend Sean, who I think he had a broken leg at the time, or broken arm. I can't remember if it was a broken leg or a broken arm. Sean Presley. Anyway, we went and saw it, and they had it posted at this place called the Quad Cinema in Belleville, Illinois, and it said they're going to do pre-orders for the Phantom Menace tickets. Like this was like 2 weeks I think before actually, and I waited in line. I went right after work because I was working overnights and stood in line. I was like the fourth or fifth person in line and waited. Talked to other Star Wars fans. My friend Matt came and hung out with me for a little bit, and I think he got tickets also. Matt Goodman, and yeah, we got tickets, and I was excited. And within that 2 week period, they were going to release the new action figures, the 3 3/4 Star Wars figures, and I was like, okay, well, I'm a Star Wars action figure collector, so I have to get Darth Maul, and or not Darth Maul. I didn't really know anything about Darth Maul, but I had to go get them. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look that up as at the same time as talking. So I go up to this Walmart that was in my town, which was it was a small town. Jeez, that's a small ass picture. It's a small town, and let's see if this is that's not even the right one. And I had to get my hands on some Star Wars figures, you know. And I'm gonna pull up the picture of the Darth Maul that I'm gonna be talking about right here. So why is it not showing it? There it is. So that Darth Maul right there. So anyway, I went to the Walmart because I knew that Toys R Us was doing a midnight launch, but I couldn't make it out to Toys R Us because it was a half an hour away, and I just honestly didn't want to go out there. I was going, so I went to my mom was like, why don't you go to the Walmart in Highland, which was like only 10 minutes away. And I was like, okay, cool, that's a good idea. So I went. Nobody was there. I was like, oh, pick of the litter. I'm gonna get everything I want with no problem. And I get there, and no Star Wars figures. They didn't even have a display up. Like I remember seeing the day before that, the Walmart in Fairview Heights, which was in a bigger populated area, and the Toys R Us and Fairview Heights had these huge, massive displays. You saw Darth Maul's face. Of course, I didn't know who he was yet. They didn't reveal. I hadn't heard the reveal of his name yet. And but I got to that other Walmart, and there was nothing there. I worked at Toys R Us in 2000 from 2000 to 2004, so I know I remember the Attack of the Clones madness, and actually the Revenge of the Sith madness too. I wasn't working there, but we went out that night. But anyway, so I was walking around the store. I decided to grab myself a Coke and some chips and stuff. I was going to go back home and play some video games and do what 18-year-olds do. So I was like, I'm gonna circle back around the toys and see if maybe they're getting ready to put them out or whatever. And I saw on a pallet, a big pile of boxes, a Star Wars box, this big, one of them with the top of it open. So I looked around. I was like, is anybody around? I didn't see anybody. I went and took a peek, and I could see the card that had Darth Maul's head on the top right hand corner. And I'm like, oh my god, there they are. And I pulled one out, and it was Darth Maul, and I'm like, oh, his name's Darth Maul. Holy cow, this is so cool! And it's this Darth Maul on the screen. And so all of a sudden, this lady pops out of nowhere and goes, "Hey, hey, get out of that box!" I dropped Darth Maul and took off. So I took off running like a little baby. So I hid in the shoe section in the store, and like this was midnight. Nobody was there. No like regular person was there. It was just all the late night crew and everything like that. So I waited about 10 minutes. I circled back around. I put down my Coke and my bag of Doritos, and I went back around. I'm like, I'm gonna grab that box and take it to another section, which I'm sure they'd hated. So I did. I got the box. I took it to another section. I went through it, and I found the Naboo pilot, Rick Oli, I think is his name. I found an Obi-Wan, an Anakin, an Anakin. I found a Qui-Gon. I didn't know his name was Qui-Gon, but I called it Qui-Gon. I had no clue. Or Qui-Gon. And Jar Jar and Padme, and I found all these awesome figures. There was like 6 or 7 brand new ones that came out in that line. And I just took the box and I bought every one of them. There was one Darth Maul in that box, one in that case. So I took it. I took them home. They were only $5, and there was 12 per case. So I only spent like $70, which $70 in 1999 was quite a lot. And I got home and I opened, I opened some of them up. I did not open the Darth Maul. I was like, this is the one. If there's one per case, this is the one that's going to be the one I need to keep in the box. And I I did. I kept it in the box. I put it on my wall, and it was always like one of the centerpieces of my action figure collection, my Star Wars figure collection on my wall until I was 29. And I came home one day. So when my wife and I moved into a duplex when I was 27, we had Reynolds when I was getting ready to turn 29. Anyway, all my figures were on the wall at what would eventually become his room. And we had, I figured, all these great colors, the Star Wars figures. He'll start to learn Star Wars just by looking at the stuff and remembering as a baby. Maybe I was probably wrong, But anyway, the Darth Maul was within his reach. He grabbed it and opened it right up. Yeah. So the Darth Maul that I worked so hard for, Reynolds opened it. He was like 6 months old, and I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little bit about it to Elizabeth. And she's like, "What are you doing? This is your son." I'm like, "It's his first Star Wars figure." So that Darth Maul became Reynolds' first Star Wars figure ever. And I wish I still had videos, but he used to carry the Darth Maul around and always like would have us put the damn lightsaber in Darth Maul's hands because he couldn't do it, being a 1-year-old walking around. And he was walking around going, Darth Maul, Darth Maul, Darth Maul. So kind of an awesome story. He still has it. It sits by his bed 11 years later. If you think about it, it's 22 years later since I bought the figure. It's God, it was sad when he opened it up because when I got home, she had the package sitting there on the table and it was ripped into. And I'm like, picked it up and I'm holding like, oh my God, but it's worth it because Reynolds got his first Star Wars figure and it was a Darth Maul that I had to secretly buy. I'll never forget that. And neither will he because he's heard the story. He's got the Darth Maul sitting on his bedside table. I think it's pretty awesome. And again, he used to walk around Darth Maul, Darth Maul. That's how he said Darth Maul. And let me tell you, by the time he was 2, he knew everyone's lightsaber hilt by looking at it. He knew everybody's name. And every time I used to have this CD that came with my Revenge of the Sith DVD, I think that it was like the musical journey of Star Wars, and like it would flip through the characters, and he just Luke Skywalker, he'd go through each one knowing who they were. He's been trained young to know Star Wars. So this is why when I get to The Last Jedi, you'll know why his heart was broken by that and The Force Awakens. So let me stop sharing this screen because I'm going to stop talking about Darth Maul and that action figure. Let me get this. Duel of Fates has got to be one of the best Star Wars themes of all of them. I mean, that was probably the best part of the Phantom Menace, in my opinion. But I do like the Phantom Menace, and I'll get into it in a second. Star Wars is pure magic. Yep, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, and maybe he'll pass that down to his son if he has one, or daughter, or whatever. I have these 2 packs of Princess Leia's with one's with Wicket, one's with Han, one's with Luke, and one is with, I think, R2. And it's a 2-pack they released in 98, I believe, Hasbro, and Helena has them hanging on her wall now. So all my stuff is getting passed to my kids, and I have no problems with it. So let me take you to opening night. I think it was May 15th, 1999. I was in line waiting with my friend Sean, who I'm pretty sure has a broken leg now that I think about it, because I think he had crutches. I do remember having to carry like popcorn and shit for him, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But I remember waiting in line. It was me and Sean and Matt, I think, was there. And then I think Sean's girlfriend at the time, Jill, was there as well. And the place we got the 1201 show. There's a 1201, a 1202, and a 1203 show. And maybe a 1204. They had them all like 1 minute apart, which, why 1 minute? We're all going to still get out all at the same time. Anyway, we were unlucky. Anyway, the place was going crazy. There were people in costumes, lightsaber duels going off in the front. And this is a classic theater that had like just it was a ramp, not stadium seating. And so people running up and down the aisles because it was all one level. There was no steps or anything like that. And there were people lightsaber fighting and people in masks and robes and stuff like that. And I remember there was this girl flirting with like all these guys who had the buns, and Sean kept calling her Princess Lamy. And we were having a good time. Had popcorn ready to go. Finally, we see the Lucasfilm Limited pop up on the screen. Everybody gets quiet. And, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And then, bam, Star Wars. And everybody just screams at the top of their lungs in excitement. I mean, we're thrilled. We're excited. Star Wars is back. And for most of us, this was the first time we'd ever seen Star Wars in the theater, other than that they re-released them in 97, of course. But this is the first time we saw a new Star Wars movie in the theaters. And a lot of people were in their early 20s to late, 20s. It was a mixed crowd, but we were all, this was probably the best moment in Star Wars history, in my opinion, because this was before all the hate of the prequels came. Everybody was excited, everybody was hopeful, and we didn't know what was beyond the crawl. First of all, I loved every second of that movie. I loved it. And it'll always be with me as one of the greatest experiences of my life. So, the movie begins with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and the trade dispute with the Trade Federation, and spoiler alert. And then eventually they end up on Naboo in Gunga, where Jar Jar, they meet Jar Jar and all that stuff. After the scene with Boss Nass, they're in the little ship, float through the water, and there's always a bigger fish. That all that stuff is getting ready to happen. The sound goes out. It just goes out completely. The movie's still playing, but there's no sound whatsoever. And they within 2 minutes or so, they stop it. They stop the film, and we're all like, "What the hell? What the hell?" And after about 20 minutes go by, the manager comes down and says, "We're having trouble with the sound system. We're trying to fix it. We can't figure out what's going on. Please be patient, and we'll try to get this going for you guys." So 20 minutes goes by, 30 minutes goes by, nothing's going on. So by 2:00 in the morning, the whole theater is still packed, and we're all just hanging out talking about Star Wars, whatever. The manager comes down and says, "We can't get anything fixed." Finally, somebody stands up and says, "I work with audio visual. I can take a look if you'd like." And so they let us out of the theater to go get more snacks before the snack bar closes on them, which was great. And they let us out right as everyone else was getting out of the theater after their showing was over, because their showing went off without a hitch. They got to see the whole movie, and the energy of the people coming out, we watched them excited and talking about Star Wars is back. And I was jealous, and me and my friend Sean was like, we need to get the hell out of here because somebody may spoil it for us. So I got more popcorn, went in the theater, and sat there and just kind of, I can't believe this is happening. Finally, the tech guy finishes the thing, and it was about 4:30 in the morning, maybe a little bit earlier than, maybe like 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere within that hour. And they restart the movie, and the magic wasn't gone. The theater was still packed, and we cheered, and they got through everything. We got to see the entire movie. Finally, we walked out of the theater as the sun was coming up. Yeah, I will never forget that. Walking out of the theater, we got there. We had to get there early too. We got there at 6 p.m. to wait in line to try to get good seats, because this was before they had assigned seating ever. And we had to wait in line, and then finally we get in, we get pretty good seats, and then all that shit happened. And it was just one of those like unforgettable experiences, getting to see Star Wars. Getting out, I didn't get home. I lived almost an hour away from where we saw the movie. I didn't get home until 7:30. No, it was closer to 8 because my brother had just left for school. Yeah, it was closer to 8 a.m. And you know what I did? Like a little kid, I was 18 years old. I grabbed my Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and was looking at them as I fell asleep on the couch. And my mom, there was a picture of me somewhere. It's lost to time, maybe because I'd get rid of it. There's a picture of me as an 18-year-old. I fell asleep with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon in my hands. I was 18, but I was so in love with Star Wars at that moment. It was one of the best moments of my life, being able to see a Star Wars movie on the opening night, and everything I went through to see the movie was everything to me. And it could be why I hold Phantom Menace in a higher category than some people do. But really, it boils down to what the movie is itself and everything that happens in the movie. And if you haven't seen Star Wars Gallery on Disney Plus, it's time, because Dave Filoni explains how important the lightsaber duel is between Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan at the end of the Duel of the Fates, because it was, not just a great title, but it was about the fate of Anakin. Because if you think about it, Qui-Gon was supposed to train Anakin, and Qui-Gon was more of a father figure. And think about it, he was to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan came out right. And Anakin probably would have been better trained by an older, wiser Jedi Master instead of getting a brother figure in Obi-Wan. And that's, Qui-Gon dying really probably ruined Anakin, and that's why he fell to the dark side. Part of it. Watch that. Dave Filoni is the man. He's the master. I really, Darth Maul's the best, man. Thank you, Alex. I'm trying, man. They love Star Wars. They do. Everybody's got their own favorite characters too. But and I never really got the hate for Jar Jar. I like Jar Jar just fine. I never had a problem with him. I thought he was silly, kind of a goofball, and it was obvious he was made for kids. But the only thing I really don't like about Episode One, and if I could be completely honest, I think, well, first of all, visually, originally, it was amazing looking, and I think some of that was lost in Episode Two when Episode Two came around. The digital effects did not look as good as they did on Episode One, in my opinion. But I remember seeing the trailer for it and seeing Darth Maul for the first time, and then they did the reveal of the double-bladed lightsaber. I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? This is going to be out of control. So seeing all that happen on the big screen and like, it meant so much to me. Not as much as Revenge of the Sith meant to me, and I'll get to that in 2 episodes from now. But it meant so much to me. I was so excited. I'm like, the future of Star Wars is here. It's bright, and I'm excited. I got 2 more movies coming in the next 5 years, 6 years. I cannot wait. And I started writing fan fiction right after that, which turned into Knights of Bellaterra, one of the Stellar Odyssey stories that I'm writing. And God, man, I just love Star Wars so much. God, that's also when I got back into reading the novels, because I had read the Timothy Zahn novels, the Thrawn stories. I read like a lot of I can't remember all of it from back then, but that's when I started getting into reading Dark Horse, and I got into Dark Empire, and I got into the Knights of the Old Republic and the Golden Age of the Sith and all that good stuff because of the Phantom Menace. And then Dark Horse started releasing stuff that led up to the Phantom Menace with Quinlan Vos and Ayla Secura, and all this was leading up to Attack of the Clones. So it was just the best time, in my opinion, to be a Star Wars fan, because I know people hated Jar Jar, and I know there was some hate for that movie, but fans were still happy. Attack of the Clones is, I think, the one that changed it for everyone. Yep, Dave Filoni he's the chosen one. He's the chosen one. But I like a lot of the stuff. I don't like the pod race. That's my biggest complaint. And the worst part about the pod race is they made it longer on the DVD and the Blu-ray. In the theater, it was like 2.5 minutes shorter, and they made it longer. It's something I end up skipping because, I mean, it's a major part, because if Anakin doesn't win the pod race, he won't get to go with Qui-Gon, and they're screwed. They're going to be stuck on Tatooine, and likely could be killed by Darth Maul, who's there hunting them. Some of the stuff between Anakin and Padme was kind of weird, but it didn't get too weird it wasn't as weird as it gets into Attack of the Clones. I don't know. I think the Phantom Menace is a solid 3.5 out of 5 at best, maybe a 4. I'm not like, I never understood the hate for this movie. Well, no, I take it back. I understand why people could hate it, but it opens us up into a different age of Star Wars, where everything's still beautiful and not run down and lived in like the original trilogy. I mean, George Lucas always said he wanted a lived-in future, essentially, and we got these lavish gowns that Padme was wearing, or Queen Amidala. We got to see the stuff like Palpatine when he walked in. I'm like, oh God, it's Palpatine. And they said his name. She said his name right at the very beginning of the movie. The Trade Federation was kind of whatever. I mean, the biggest threat, and of course, one of my favorite things is we were walking out of the theater at the end, and there, who's the Dark Lord guy that's talking to Darth Maul the whole time? It's like, come on, people. Can't you tell? Have you never seen Return of the Jedi? It's obviously Palpatine. Come on. So and I remember there were internet rumors going around of wondering who that was. Like, every time I saw one, I was like, my Lord, we know that's Palpatine. Because you remember back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, they had like message boards. And I was on all these Star Wars message boards back then. And everybody's, who is the Darth Sidious? I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. I'm still dumbfounded that they didn't know that was Palpatine, the Emperor. But I don't know. I like the Phantom Menace quite a bit. What do you guys think of the Phantom Menace? Anybody who's watching or watches this, let me know in the comments what you think of the Phantom Menace. Let me know some of your memories. I feel like I have everyone topped because I waited about 12 hours to see that movie from start to finish. And by the way, Mummy from 1999 is awesome. Well, me and Seth are going to talk about that one day. I really like the Mummy. So I got a bunch of messages while I was talking. So I'll really, you were one of the ones that messaged me. I'll get to it in a second. And my friend Carlos now. Holy cow, my phone will not stop going off. So anyway, next I will do the Attack of the Clones. I don't know if I'm gonna do it tomorrow or if I'm gonna space these out and do a different stream tomorrow. If I can't think of anything else, I'll do Attack of the Clones. Right, but I mean, he was wearing the same thing as the Emperor. That's why I said the Emperor. But you knew, like, also I have this. Actually, I still have it. Hold on. Now, this has seen better days. I mean, it's the Star Wars Essential Guide to the Characters, and he was named in this. I'm pretty sure. Let me look. Han Solo. Hold on. Where's that SOB? It's hard to do with looking down the barrel of the mic. I'm the Sunrider, and this book is actually one of the things that got me, like, other than Attack the Clones and the re-release of the original trilogy. Here we go. Yeah, Emperor Palpatine. See, so I knew his name was Palpatine. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I knew. But I mean, he's wearing the same goddamn cloak. It's just pulled down over his face a little bit more, you know? And then she goes, Senator Palpatine. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's me, my Star Wars arrogance coming out. Seth has stopped in. Hey, Seth, not the worst. I've always loved the prequel trilogy. I love how different they felt, and that's one of the things I love about them. And that's one of the things about the sequel trilogy I didn't like, is well, no, I can't tell you if I like it or don't like it, but the sequel trilogy was 30 years away from the prequels, and it still looked very much like the OT, which somewhat bothered me, but not really. I loved the Phantom Menace when I was 11 when it came out, so I really didn't understand why people hated Jar Jar. And my brother, he was your age actually, he was born in '88. He hated Jar Jar right away. He also didn't like Star Wars all that much. So, right, yeah. I mean, I guess for newbies who maybe hadn't seen, like, there could have been people who hadn't seen Return of the Jedi who were seeing this as their first Star Wars movie, and I'd like to meet that person. But yeah, finding out I don't know if George was going for a no, I am your father Vader moment, Vader Luke moment with Palpatine when you reveal who he is, even though it's painfully obvious. I don't know. But if you go to Rage of Rayzor on Facebook, there's a keep hitting this damn cord. There's a emoji voting thing up. You can vote how many stars you give it out of 5. I gave it 4. I like it enough. It's not one that I ever pass over. Actually, all 3 prequels I like. I'm not like they're the best Star Wars ever. And I go back and forth between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope as my personal favorite, because I love Revenge of the Sith. I remember Obi-Wan Kenobi talking to Luke about the Clone Wars and Anakin and all this stuff when he's in there, and when Luke opens puts his eye out with a lightsaber, about his cunning warrior and a good friend and all this different stuff. And that's the stuff I wanted to see. And you don't get to see it as much, as Seth pointed out to me, in Attack of the Clones. You get to see it a little bit in Revenge of the Sith, and you definitely get to see it in the Clone Wars show. But that's stuff I've always wanted to see. I wanted to see the Clone Wars because I thought when Obi-Wan said the Clone Wars, I always thought the clones were clones of other people. Like, there was a clone of Obi-Wan out there. There was a clone of, all these different people. That's what I thought of. I didn't think it was a bunch of clones as an army. I had no clue what it was. kind of like the Spider-Man clone saga. I guess I don't know where there's different versions of Spider-Man. In the novelization, I never read the novelizations until I was older. So, and I'm talking like 24, 25. My wife bought these. She found these special edition. Um, no, those are upstairs in my room, not down here. But she found these special. Hold on. Yeah. These. She found these for me at a yard sale, and I don't know where Empire. I think that one. That's the one up in my room. It's blue. But yeah, I didn't read these till I was probably 24, 25 years old. Obviously, I have. Look at how messed up. These were in pristine condition when I got them. Yay. Yeah, Empire's up in my room. Anyway, yeah, I never like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I watched the original trilogy so much, I recognize Palpatine. Yeah, if you saw the OT, you could recognize him. I mean, he's got the same outfit on. It might be 30 years. And plus, he didn't look old as shit. So, I mean, we didn't know how Palpatine had a, testicle forehead. I was in high school when The Phantom Menace came out, and I was hyped. I bought the novelization with Darth Maul on the cover. I remember that. They had 4 different covers, I think, with Obi-Wan and Anakin and Padme, I think, something like that. And it brought it with me to art class, and I made a paper mech. I can't spell. Paper mache. Okay. Mask of Darth Maul. Do you still have that? That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I was it was the year after I graduated high school when that came out, like a year or two, almost the day, because I graduated in May of '98, and it came out in May of '99. So I know it was 9 days before my birthday. I saw episode 1 5 times in the theater total before it ran out. I saw it on my birthday, and I did that because it was Star Wars' birthday also. My birthday is May 25th. Star Wars A New Hope came out May 25th, 1977. So it was 22nd anniversary. I wanted to spend it with Star Wars. My 19th birthday. Star Wars' 22nd birthday. So I went and saw Star Wars Episode 1. I think I saw it twice that day. I know one time that I saw it twice. I turned around and went right back in. But I know I saw it that opening day. My friend Tony, who also had a broken leg at the time, I picked him up, and the scene. I don't know if anybody remembers these commercials. Foster's, it's Australian for beer. Well, the scene towards the end where the Gungans are marching to battle, and one of them blows a horn. And I leaned over to Tony and said, "Foster's Australian for beer," and he just laughed really loud in the middle of the crowd, and people looked at him and didn't know why he was laughing so hard. I thought it was funny. He thought it was funny, obviously. He said he had a hard time catching his breath. I was expecting clones of that's what I was thinking of too. And then when I saw the trailer for Attack of the Clones the first time, it shows a scene like the scene where Anakin is like killing all the Tuskens, the Sand People. There's a close up, and he just swipes down, and you can only see it from behind, and you can't really make out what it was. And I kept pausing the trailer because it was released on StarWars.com way back in the day. That's how you had to find trailers, but you knew when it was coming out. So I paused it right at that moment, and I'm like, holy shit, that from behind looks like Darth Maul. And I was like, are they going to have clones of Darth Maul in this? That's what I thought originally, and then I was let down that it was Sand People. But every fan has a theory or has some kind of wild idea of what's going to happen. And for episode 1, I had no ideas. I mean, when I saw Darth Maul, and then I saw Padme for the first time in trailers and magazines and stuff like that, I'm like, this does not look Star Wars to me. This is so foreign. Darth Maul with his painted black and red face, his horns. I'm like, this looks so bizarre, and I had to trust it because I know there are all these different creatures and aliens throughout the galaxy, but I'd never seen anything like that. And then Padme's face was painted white. She had this stripe on her lip, the 2 dots on her cheek. Like, what is this movie? And I'm looking at, they showed the Palace of Theed and the waterfall. I'm like, wow, that's very Renaissance looking. It's like this. I don't know what to expect from this movie. So by the time Attack of the Clones came back around, I kind of had an idea of what was finally going on. And again, they had those comics in between Attack of the Clones and The Phantom Menace, and I got a better idea, and I could theorize more of what was going to happen. And I was still way off base. I didn't realize it was going to be a clone army until later. So I thought it was going to be some kind of clone army led by Darth Maul. Who's this? Steve Carino. I'll check that now since you were watching the chat. Oh man, Steve, are you still watching? That is amazing. Steve, show. Well, I put on a. If you don't mind, Steve, I'm gonna share the picture you just sent me. That is that an OG edition of the Phantom Menace? I mean, not the Phantom Menace, A New Hope novelization. If I can get my Facebook working on here, doesn't want to. It's put. Here it is. All right, let's see if I can pull it up for you. You mind if I show that off? I'm going to anyway. Check this out. This is cool. Everybody, if you can hit if you haven't subscribed to my Rage of Rayzor page, please do. If you hit the like button, share this video, that would help me out a lot. Check this out. He just sent this to me. How a badass is that? Let me remove my banner too, because that's so cool. So cool. And then he shared a second picture as well. That is really awesome. Thanks for sharing, man. I really appreciate that. That is awesome. That is so cool. Yeah, so love it. I love it when people share cool stuff with me, and that was super cool. Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate that, man. That's awesome. Second edition from when you were a kid. It's still, man, it looks like it's in pretty decent shape. I didn't get any Star Wars books till I was like 17. Because I didn't read. I got Shadows of the Empire was the first one I picked up, and I think it came out in '96. And I'm like, wow, they got a cool Star Wars book. And then I got Tales from Jabba's Palace, Tales of the Bounty Hunter, Tales of Mos Eisley Cantina, and from there it just kind of went down. Not downhill, but it was like a slippery slope. Then I got the Thrawn trilogy shortly after that. I just kept getting, and then after episode 1 came out, I started buying more books, and my freaking knowledge of the expanded universe is out of control. And this was another gateway for me, was this Essential Guide to the Characters. I actually have a newer version, but this one I just adore. And there's a picture of me, and there's a bookmark from playing baseball. Playing baseball in the backyard. Oh, look at this. Who wants to see this lady come back? I do. Mara Jade, come on. She's got to show up in the Rangers of the New Republic or something like that, right? Come on. We want to see Mara Jade. Anyway, hit the subscribe button for me. I'm going to head out now. I appreciate everybody stopping in and saying hi and listening to me talk a little bit about the Phantom Menace and my experience. I'll talk about the same thing. The Attack of the Clones wasn't as interesting as my story and going to see. You should have kept it, man. That's gold. As I waited in line at Warenberg 15. It was a different place because I think the quad was closed at that point. Actually, that showing of the Phantom Menace led to the end of the quad cinema because I guess word got around that their speaker system was out and not working, and it had somebody from the audience. Yeah, they closed down within a couple of years after that. It's very sad because that was one of my favorite places to watch a movie, which is funny. It's right next door to the drive-in, the local drive-in, the Skyview. But anyway, I'll talk about Attack of the Clones. I actually sat outside. I got off of work. I was working overnights at Toys R Us doing resets. And I got off of work, drove straight over to I was the first person in line to get Phantom Menace tickets. Attack of the Clones tickets. And I sat there and I had a stack of comics to read because I knew I was going to have to wait because I had to wait 2 hours, which wasn't too bad. And it was nice out. So I got off work. I grabbed there was a Hardee's next door. I grabbed me a loaded omelet biscuit breakfast sandwich, went over, read some comics, sat there. I met a girl. We went on a couple dates. I got tickets to see Attack of the Clones 3 times, twice in the first day, which was awesome. And let me tell you something. Just spoiler alert, I fucking loved Attack of the Clones when I saw it first. My jaw was literally on the ground when that movie was over. Okay, I mean, trying to like process everything that happened in the last 20 minutes after the arena battle. It's you get the Jedi coming in, of Jedi versus the freaking droids, and then you still got the Reek and all the, I can't remember, the Acolyte, all the stuff running around. Obi-Wan being chased by the Acolyte, and he not even knowing it. He's just blocking blaster bolts, and yeah, all that good stuff happening. And then the clones come in, and then there's a huge clone battle. The Clone Wars officially start on Geonosis at the very end, and then Anakin, Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku, Yoda versus Count Dooku, and then the Clone Wars have, and the music swells, and you get the love theme and the merit. Oh my god, it was amazing! God, a movie of moments, Attack of the Clones. I'm telling you. Yes, I could talk Star Wars for hours. I'm gonna go because it's 8, and I gotta get kids ready for bed and stuff for school and stuff tomorrow. And let's face it, I've got video games to play. I'm just saying. So anyway, thanks for listening to me. I will do another show. It might be tomorrow. Don't forget Thursday. Go subscribe to the Horror Syndicate. Subscribe to the Horror Syndicate. We are doing a Demons and Demons 2 conversation with Seth T. Miller and Jared Letourneau. And then Tuesday, we're coming back with Seth T. Miller, Jared Letourneau, and the illustrious Nathan Thomas Milliner. And we're going to talk about An American Werewolf in London, which I'm excited to watch and dissect on Tuesday, the 12th. A lot of stuff going on. I'll still be doing live streams here, even though I'll be doing live streams at the Horror Syndicate. They'll probably be shorter on Horror Syndicate days. And on the 15th, I think, HS Lives comes back with Brian, Mike, and Jared. If Mike would ever answer his fucking messages. Come on, dude. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Alex, thank you. Steve, thank you for sharing. And Seth, I will talk to you soon, my friend. Have a good night. And remember, Attack of the Clones is next. I'm going to do all kinds of shit, by the way. I'll do some Marvel movies. I'll do some DC. As long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep doing them. Have a good evening. Bye.